Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 011, Arithmetic, Section 2.4, Problem 25. This is Section 2.4, Problem 25. It says find the area of the rectangle. And we have a rectangle that's 4.5 meters across the bottom and 2 2/5 meters high. So if you remember, the area is the base times the height. So for base times height, we have 4.5 for the base times 2 2/5 for the height. Now, in order to multiply those, I have to write them as improper fractions. I can't have a fraction and a whole number, or in other words, in its mixed number form. So let me convert that to an improper fraction for both, a fraction with only a numerator and a denominator. So for the first one, the 4.5, I will multiply the denominator times the whole number in front. So I will multiply 2 times 4, which gives me a result of 8. Then I take that result and I add it to the numerator. So I will add the result of 8 that I got plus 1 more for the numerator. 8 plus 1 more is 9. So 4.5 can be written as 9/2. And then do the same process for the second fraction. The 2 2/5 has to be converted into a fraction that has the form of only a numerator and a denominator. So same process. I will multiply the denominator times the whole number in front. So I will multiply 5 times 2, which gives me a 10. And then I take the result that I got and I add to the numerator. So I will add 10 plus 2 more. 10 plus 2 more is 12. So my new numerator is 12 and the old numerator stays 5. Now, these are the numbers that I will multiply. So you multiply top times top, 9 times 12, bottom times bottom, 2 times 5. Now, in this case, I notice that I can pre-reduce a little bit. The 9 and the 5 won't reduce, but the 2 and the 12 do. So you will get the same answer if you multiply first, then reduce, or reduce first, then multiply. I find that if I can make the numbers that I have to multiply a little smaller, it's easier. So I will say that 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 12 6 times. So now, coming across the top, 9 times 6 for the numerator times numerator is 54. And denominator times denominator has become 1 times 5, which is 5. Now, if the problem does not specifically give you the instructions that you cannot leave an improper fraction, then you're done. The answer is 54/5. Some questions will say that you cannot leave your answer in the form of an improper fraction. You have to convert it back to a mixed number. And if they do give you those instructions, what you will do is divide the denominator, which is 5 in this case, into the numerator, which in this case is 54. 5 goes into 5 once. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. You bring down the next digit, which is 4. 5 divides into 4. It doesn't. It's just 4 is not big enough. So 0 times 5 is 0. Then you subtract 4 minus 0 is 4. So my remainder of 4 is the numerator for my fraction. And the number that was the denominator, which was the number outside the division problem, stays the denominator. So I have 10 4/5. So the area is it can either be written as 54/5, or if you prefer, 10 4/5. And again, because this is an application problem and units of measure are given, we should keep those units. And it's not meters, because this area is square meters. So it's 54/5 or 10 4/5 square meters.